Guys, look at my new t-shirt. I should have wore this yesterday in the hate video, but I didn't end up wearing it. I got gifted this today. Shout out Sweet Dreams, Bitter Reality. But today's video is how to deal with rejection like a pro. So it's not rejection in itself that you're afraid of, but the meaning in which you assign to the outcome. What you allow it to validate about you. The subconscious belief that you allow it to validate about you. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you apply for a job that you really want, or you express interest in somebody who happens to be your type. And those two opportunities don't go the way that you want it to go. You don't end up getting the job, or the person ends up saying, sorry, I'm not interested, or some other rude response. The problem is not that that happened, but the fact that you allow that to mean that maybe you're not enough. Maybe you're not qualified for the opportunity, or maybe you're not good looking enough, or maybe you're just not enough in general. But that is a very big problem, right? Because it's not rejection, it's the meaning that you assign to rejection, but not the rejection in itself. But in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to handle rejection like a pro, right? So the thing is, it is not rejection in itself, but the subconscious belief that you have about yourself, right? What is it that you really deeply think? Are you deeply insecure? Do you really have a deep sense of inadequacy? If you apply to a job, you must have full confidence, whether you get it or not, that it is enough, right? That you are enough and qualified to be able to get the job. You have to have full confidence, right? Irrespective of whether you get it or not. Because that doesn't really dictate anything. It doesn't really validate anything, but apart from what you allow it to validate, right? And if you don't get something, that means it wasn't written for you. Yeah? You weren't meant to get it, right? It wasn't something that God written for you. And a big thing is what you must understand is what God has written for you. No mere mortal has no control over his own life, can take away from you what God has set into motion. And remembering that and always reminding yourself that frees you of all this worry and anxiousness of being married to an outcome. Why you feel rejection is you're married to a specific outcome. It's not, you don't have to get the job. You know what I mean? That person doesn't need to be equally as interested in you. You did those things for you and for yourself because you wanted to. Not to prove a point to yourself, because you felt you were qualified enough to do so. And I'll give you an example. Let's say there's somebody that you're attracted to and you go express interest. You only get rejected if the goal was to acquire that person. Sorry. To get that person, quote unquote, get that person. But that's not why you go there. You go there to express interest. Because why? You find that person attractive. They have to fit a description of what your type is, right? You're charmed by their appearance. So you go there to introduce yourself and express interest, and that's it. You're not there to get anybody. You're not there to you're not there to gain a specific outcome. You could hope for it. But hope in itself is a weak emotion to even experience, right? Because an individual that's sure of themselves doesn't dictate themselves based on a mere experience. It is the meaning that you assign to the experience that makes you feel shit. And it's because you are married to a certain outcome. You are married, you want the experience to have a certain outcome. And when you're married to that certain outcome and you don't gain it, then you end up feeling shit about yourself. But if you apply for a job and you don't get the job, that's okay. Apply for another one. It's merely just an experience. You can regard it as just an experience, right? You don't have to assign meaning to the outcome. You only assign meaning to the outcome because of the insecurities that you have about yourself, the subconscious beliefs that maybe you're not enough that you have about yourself. And up until you learn to accept those things, the way that you see rejection will not change. It will not change up until you learn to accept those things. I'll give you an example. The individual goes to therapy and is fully healed from all of their trauma and negative experiences, right? Does his experiences change? No. What changes is his perspective and the interpretation of the experiences that he has. How he interprets the situations that he encounters. That's what changes. So now, instead of thinking, oh, if I apply for this job and I don't get it, and if I express interest in that individual and they don't happen to like me back, he stops thinking that it's because it's not enough and starts thinking that, okay, maybe I just didn't align with that job and their requirements as of right now, or maybe I just don't meet the criteria of that individual who meets my criteria. If you can think like that, you become a wahash. Yeah, a wahash is a beast, right? You have no inhibitions, right? No enemies, because there's no reason for you to feel less than or, negative about yourself and let what another flawed human being thinks dictate how you feel about yourself. If you can learn to find somebody attractive, yet not care about what they think, you become an extremely powerful individual. Because we all subconsciously want the people that we like to like us back. Let's be honest. Like, we all really want the people we like to like us back. We really do. But since you find them physically attractive, you often assign qualities to them that they aren't deserving of. Or their opinions matter. They don't, bro. They don't. What if that person you find attractive thinks pineapple doesn't belong on pizza? What a whack opinion to have. Or thinks there's more windows than wheels in this world. L-mans and women. Right? So, first you need to learn to self-accept yourself. And if you accept your flaws and your shortcomings and not having any insecurities, insecurities come from you not having accepted certain traits about yourself. And when you have insecurities and you go for an experience and the experience has an outcome that you weren't expecting, not the one that you were hoping for, you then project your insecurities to be the reason in which you attain that outcome. And that's not what you should be doing, right? In order to handle rejection like a pro, you must first learn to accept thyself. Accept all your shortcomings. Accept you are exactly as you are. Because thinking that having more than that which you are will help you attain more than that which you have now. It's an idea sold to you by capitalism to ensure that you stay a consumer, constantly in consumption, to make you feel as if you are enough. Capitalism has the ulterior motive to fill you with inadequacy. And to those who can learn to accept themselves faster than others will always progress faster than anybody else. So you handle rejection like a pro is first learning to accept yourself, not assigning meaning to the outcome and taking it as merely an experience and moving forward rapidly. If you're going to do those three things, to take rejection like a pro. Because it's not that you're not attractive enough or that you aren't enough in general or you aren't qualified enough. It's simply because whatever you applied for or whoever you express interest with, you simply don't meet their criteria, which comes from the criteria of how they see themselves. If you understand this truth, you can set yourself free. So that is how you deal with rejection like a pro. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.